Hello, smart and good looking viewers out there in YouTube land. It is KB's Unemployed Show, and we got a good one today. I'll be joined all show long by Piper the News Girl. We'll be talking about Britney Spears drinking and driving. We're going to also talk about things that scared me as a child and probably didn't scare her. We'll see how many of those are. And of course, a regular news update and Piper's fun fact of the day. And it all starts right now.
It's KB's unemployed sheet. He's unemployed and didn't know what to do, so he started a shit. Lots of boss jobs to kill time. He didn't know what to call it, so he called it KB's Unemployed Show.
That's right. KB's Unemployed Show, Tuesday edition. The dumbest show on YouTube that you could possibly imagine, but I got nothing better to do. We're at day 91 of unemployment. So it's going to be a little bit more time before I can spill the tea because I got 3 more months left, but stick around and you'll be able to get the entire story on June 10th. So I'm just throwing that out there. Big show today. Piper, the news girl, is going to join me the whole show, and I found a great subject to talk to her about. I just love the differences in the generations, stuff that we find, that we remember, and how they fall along the wayside, but they never really left our top of mind awareness. And a few of these things, well, there's a few of these things that I actually forgot about. Stuff that scared us as a kid that I guarantee not even on her radar screen. We've also got some news stories. We've got, I want to dive into this Britney Spears thing because I think it's a pretty good indictment of all these social justice Instagram keyboard warriors out there. And I'm going to put them on notice. And then Piper's fun fact of the day after some news. So we've got all of that going with us today. First of all, I'd like to say to everyone, happy National Ranch Dressing Day, which in the Midwest, for Midwest women, that's the joke. It's a beverage. But National Ranch Dressing Day, if you like ranch dressings. I've been kind of grooving on the blue cheese as of late. The blue cheese dressing has been pretty good. And then the Western dressing, it's got to have the horns, which is like a French dressing. I don't know the difference between Russian, French, or Western. It's red dressing, basically. Okay, and it's kind of sweet. But the ranch dressing, I've seen, people do everything with ranch dressing. Dip it on pizza. Dip pizza, anything, just put ranch on it. It is going to be fine. I thought it was just reserved for, dressings and chicken fingers, but apparently the ranch dressing is for anything that you want to eat. And it's also a day that I think is great for each and every one of us to celebrate. I don't know what it means, but it is the International Day of Awesomeness. So I love and I'm going to ask anyone out there, and if you subscribe, hit the comments if you come back to watch this at a later time, and hit the comments with this, because the International Day of Awesomeness, I want to know what you think is awesome that we should celebrate on International Day of Awesomeness. There are so many things that I find awesome that I don't even know where to begin. But I can tell you, thanks, Brent. I can tell you what isn't awesome is it going from 70 degrees to 40 degrees and windy in one day. That not awesome at all. In fact, that sucks balls. That's the worst thing in the world. Yesterday, I'm out walking Kenneth, in short sleeve shirt, enjoying myself. And then today I'm freezing my ass off. And then just trying to, as I walk him, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get back home without going into the wind. So I don't know. That is not awesome. But without any further ado, let's just welcome her to the show. Hey, Piper, what's going on?
Nothing much. I accidentally took a nap for 2 hours that I did not intend to. And it's like it was the type of nap where you wake up from and you're not quite sure what day it is. I actually thought I missed class, even though I was fully there this morning. I woke up at like I don't know, like an hour ago, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I forgot to go." And I was like rushing to get everything ready. I'm like, "Oh, that already happened today." So that's just kind of my general mindset for right now. Yeah.
The nap, that's one of those things as a child. We hated the nap, kicking and screaming. But the nap is one of life's most underrated pleasures of all time. And
Really
I
is.
naps happen, right? I mean, you don't, sometimes you sit down and you go, okay, I'm going to go take a nap. But by and large, naps happen.
Mhm.
Up on
Yeah,
you.
I didn't plan it. I just had some like lovely classical music playing in the background. I was fully ready to do my work. And I made maybe a dumbass decision when after having my longest day, I'm in at class for like 8 hours on Monday. They're putting my little white ass to work over at UWM, okay? And I got home and instead of going to bed early, taking care of my body, I decided to stay up and watch movies instead, which is not maybe the most holistic thing to do, but it's what I want to do. And then I
You're a
ended up
grown up, you can.
right, exactly. I'm using my grown-up privileges to have a double feature movie night, okay? This is what I'm getting up to with my free time. And then I went to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning, made it to class still, and I wasn't late. I got there exactly at 10 o'clock. Thank you
You
very
did,
much.
as opposed to everybody else.
Right. And that's like a personal pet peeve of mine is that I always try to be class on early, and if I am not, it's because I'm usually sick or something, but I'm still there. I don't care. I've been to class on days where I'm like absolutely should probably maybe stay in bed, but they are gonna see me, okay? My professors take the time out of their day to teach me something new, and you know what? Having an education is a privilege, so I'm not gonna miss out on that. I don't even know where I
Listen to
was going
you,
with
how
this.
grown up you are. Oh my God, such a grown up, not a college student.
I guess so. It's just more like I really enjoy school. Like honestly, like I hate like I sound like such a nerd saying that when everybody's like complaining about like midterms or like all these courses they got going on. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. Technically, on my mom never graduated college. My grandmother never went. So like I'm kind of one of the first women besides my cousin to graduate or like I'm going to graduate next year, but she's graduated, got her master's and everything. So there really hasn't been a lot of girls in our family that have gotten that. My great grandmother literally dropped out of the second grade to pick cotton. So you know what? I'm gonna enjoy it while I can. So
She dropped out of school in the second
right.
grade to
Yep.
pick cotton in the second grade. So as a third grader, she's
hmm
picking cotton. Where was she, in China?
She
Putting
was
her to
down in
work
good
that
old
early?
Arkansas. My grandmother, my mom's mom, their side of the family is from the South. And yeah, they needed her on the farm. You know, it was more beneficial for their family for her to be out there toiling away in the hot sun than to be sitting in a classroom learning multiplication. So
Well, I mean, that's how the farmers work things. If they needed another farm worker, they pumped out another kid.
it's true.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's it. We got to, okay, we're running a little lean here. Uncle Chet died, honey. Let's go.
Is that going to be on your list of things you had to worry about as a kid and I don't child
No,
labor?
no, no, that is not on my list of things that I had to worry about. No,
Okay, good.
not at all. So, what movies did you watch? Because I
Um,
watched a couple. I'm catching up on a few because I miscalculated when we were going to do our Oscars preview. So I'll probably rerun that this week. For
it's okay.
some reason, I thought the Oscars were this weekend, and
My mom has been asking me that every single weekend. She's like, "Are the Oscars this Sunday?" She's been doing this for a month now. She did it again last weekend. I'm like, "Mom, I'm pretty sure they're not. I know they feel like extremely like they're dragging out this award season. Like, wrap it up. We're all exhausted. Let us go home. Like, we don't like truly. We know Jesse Buckley's gonna win, and that's about it. Like, stop doing this to us. We all have lives. We all have jobs. We all have school. Like, come on now. Stop wasting
okay,
it."
Okay, so what did you watch? I've been catching up, and what did you watch? And then I'll tell you what I watched.
I this weekend I saw The Bride. I saw that this Sunday. It's a new Frankenstein adaptation. Well, Bride of Frankenstein adaptation, I should say, directed
Hmm.
by Maggie Gyllenhaal. It takes place in like the 1930s. It's a little bit of like a film noir gangster movie. And it's probably one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. And I wanted to go in liking it. Like truly like I'm such a big Frankenstein fan. Love the original book. I first read it in like high school and I've had to read it for school like college since then. I've seen basically every single adaptation of it known to man. I really love the Guillermo del Toro new spin on it that came out this last fall. I saw that in theaters. So like I'm the demographic for this, okay? I'm here for a new fresh take on Frankenstein from an angle we haven't seen it before. I'm all for a little bit of like I really love like trying to think of things I did honestly honest like full wholeheartedly enjoy about this film. I like the set design, like the 1930s are a cool period to be in, like if you're not thinking about like the Great Depression and how probably everybody's starving to put like and struggling to put meals on the table. I really like the costume design. It was like a fine enough film to look at. Legitimately, probably one of the worst writing I have ever seen in a movie ever. There were some lines that legitimately felt like it was taken from like fan fiction or like straight up like it felt spiritually very Suicide Squad esque. I don't know if you've ever seen the Suicide Squad, but it felt like it just walked out of a Hot Topic and not like it was very, I don't like using the word cringe, but it definitely
Hmm.
didn't sit well with me. They were unironically comparing The Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster to like Romeo and Juliet, like they're like Bonnie and Clyde. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the most stereotypical, cliched thing you could be saying about two lovers on the run that like are not supposed to be together. It just made me roll my eyes. Like I saw it with my friends, and like every other second I was like turning like, are you guys seeing this? Do you guys believe this? And that was the worst thing. I wanted to enjoy it so badly just because I do think like I want to have more like there's not a lot of female directors out there. I want to support them. I want it like this is a everybody keeps on describing this as a very bold, unique vision, and it definitely is just not one I meshed with. I'm glad I saw it. Like I'm glad, I was able to form my opinion on it. I've heard a lot of mixed
Hmm.
things. And I didn't want to like I held back all judgment until I finally got to tap into it myself. And like unfortunately, it was not for me. But that
Okay,
was
so that was one, and you said you did a double feature last night.
um I attempted a double feature. I watched this Spanish horror movie called Thesis, which is about a woman writing up her thesis, and she's talking about like the whole subject matter that she's discussing is like violence and video. And she ends up finding in like the archives of her school campus, like a movie, like an at-home movie of a woman getting murdered, and she was a student at the school. So like there's this whole mystery of like what happened to her. Everybody thought she just went missing. What potential like student body are involved? Are there teachers involved? How did this video even get here? And I honestly really enjoyed this movie. I know like it's definitely not everybody's cup of tea, but it was like something that this very much fits the Piper perspective. I love anything dealing with like the horrors of the internet and like technology. As someone who's very afraid of technology, it very much tapped into what I'm personally scared of. And it was definitely a little unsettling. I wouldn't say I was like actually terrified, but I was always invested and interested.
Hmm.
And then I attempted to watch Pitch Perfect because that was recommended to me by someone and I've never seen it, but I fell asleep. So I tried to have a double feature. It didn't exactly go to plan. So,
When it's so funny that you mentioned Pitch Perfect because when I started doing the radio show with Drew 8 years ago, and sometimes you stumble onto something and it just sticks,
mhm.
right? Um, I said at the end of the show, and then I ended up having to say it at the end of every single show. It became a sign off. And I always had to say, make good choices. And so one day someone said, "Where did you get that from?" And when I told them, they were like, "You're crazy." And I got it from Pitch Perfect.
Really.
Yeah, now I'm not a Pitch Perfect fan necessarily, although I am kind of a big Anna Kendrick fan. I do like her. She's done some stuff that has been like in this indie world and this indie side of things, and it's really there's really funny stuff that she's done. And if you ever go out on YouTube, go kicking around YouTube, you have to see Anna Kendrick's Super Bowl commercial because it was not on the Super Bowl, but they made fun of it. And the other one is it's a short series that ran only on maybe on Roku, and it's called Dummy,
Okay.
and it's about and it's Dan Harmon, and who's from Milwaukee, by the way.
Really? I did not know
Yeah, he
that.
played at Comedy Sports, but Dan Harmon did it, and he. It's about a guy who is a TV writer, and she's his girlfriend,
Mhm.
but she finds his sex doll, and it's like one of those lifelike sex dolls, and they end up it's just weird, but it's very very it's oddly funny. It's like a more comedic Lars and the Real Girl.
Oh,
um
okay, yes.
but
Right. I see what you're
um
putting down.
so I watched this weekend to try and catch up on everything. I watched one and a quarter, and the one that I watched was F1.
Oh, okay. All
And
right.
I think I texted to Matt Miller, how does this garbage get nominated for an Academy Award? It might be um, when you're watching a movie, and I get it. It's Brad Pitt. It's cars moving fast. F1 has had a surge in popularity,
Mhm.
but the instead of calling it, Formula One racing, it should have been Formula Script, because I figured out exactly how it was going to end within the first 20 minutes. It's like, here comes old guy, has to redeem himself, comes back, to train the young guy. And young guy is being petulant and doesn't want to, and then finally comes around to the old guy's way of seeing things. And you know what? Spoiler alert, there's a big triumphant ending, and everybody is happy. I think I said it's like Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby with faster cars and a touch of Days of Thunder thrown in, because you had then the hot strawberry blonde girl who was the love interest, which would this time not New Zealand, not from New Zealand or Australia, from Ireland. So
Mhm.
you did have
Oh, yeah,
that.
it's Ray Condon, yeah.
Yeah. So then you did have that element. And I'm just watching this, and then I was pot committed, and it's like, well, I got to finish this to the end, even though I know what the end is going to be. And so I'm like, how do you nominate this? How do you nominate this for an Academy Award? It was absolutely god awful.
I don't know what F1 is doing there, I gotta be honest. I've heard F1 as, like, described. It feels like it's a sequel to a movie that never was, like, just something a movie that was never made, like, something that originally came out in the '80s, like Top Gun-esque that Brad Pitt originally starred in, and this feels like a return, like
Mhm.
a continuation of that original story, like, very much like, how there was what is it? Top Gun: Maverick. It's another movie I did not really like. I could not take it seriously whatsoever. Like, they managed to escape the Russians completely unnoticed and unharmed, and they
With
managed
a
to still
plane
go
they
to their
don't even know
plane.
is gassed up
Right,
or
like,
anything.
I couldn't get into that movie. I just, like, I'm sorry, I could not. Some movies I'm able to understand, like, a suspension of disbelief where I'm like, "Okay, I understand this is a fictional story. This isn't how it really go down." But no, I feel like especially when it comes to, like, military related stuff and, like, war movies, I'm like, "Come on, guys. We
Got to
have
be
done this enough
accurate.
times where I feel like we should know what happens at this point." Like,
Yeah.
don't waste my time, don't waste my energy. But F1 is just like, I feel like you can tell that the maybe Academy voters, like, they're I feel like maybe a lot of them are dads getting up there, because I feel like this is such a dad movie, like, that you put on in the background and you don't fully pay attention to, but then there's, like, an action scene, and, like, I could already envision my dad standing there, not sitting down on the couch, but, like, standing with hands on his hips, like, paying attention to that, really invested, and then as soon as anybody starts talking, he, like, walks away and does something completely else. And then eventually when they're racing again, he kind of comes, walks back in. I don't know. It's I
It
really
was
don't know
just
what it's doing
ridiculous.
there.
And then the other one that I started watching, and then I was about 10 minutes in, well, maybe a little bit farther in, and I went, no, I'm done. I can't. Is Hamnet. And
Oh.
I started watching it, and it's like a chick that sleeps in the forest with a falcon and another guy. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I went, I'm out. I don't know. If it gets better, good. Maybe I'll go back and watch it. But I'm not even remotely interested in that one at all. So let's get things before we get into let's get things going before we get into the guts of the show. And why don't you help us out here, Piper, and give us a little breaking news? What do you got?
Oh, okay. So my first little story I have for today. It's a very short and sweet. There has been traditional reindeer racing in Finland. It's like a traditional sport that the indigenous Sami people put on. It seems like every year. They have a long history of reindeer racing. It's been going on since the 1950s. Back then, men spent winters in the forest. There were no snowmobiles. So in late winter, when the reindeers were in great shape, they started racing them. And I just thought that was kind of funky.
So
Um,
wait. Okay, so in Finland,
mhm.
uh, it's a long tradition since the 50s. That's not that long, but are they
I guess,
riding the reindeer?
I guess okay, that maybe that's long for me. Like,
Yeah.
none of my I was not even a thought.
Oh,
None of my parents were alive. So maybe, but maybe in the grand scheme of things, that maybe long tradition is a bit of an
okay.
exaggeration.
But I mean, are they saddling them up? Are they hopping on the reindeer and riding them, or is it they just letting them run on a track? Is it like
So from the
dog
picture
racing or?
So from the pictures I have, it seems like they have like a leash tethered to the reindeer, and then somebody is behind the reindeer on skis. So none of the above. And which is maybe the most
Oh,
complicated, unusual way to go about it. That's not what I would think. Like when I think of reindeer racing, I'm thinking like, oh, it's gonna be like Frozen. They're gonna have saddles on these things. They're gonna ride them around like little ponies. Or maybe it could be like a dog sled where they're like hitched up to like Santa's sleigh. Like they could be all hitched up to some sort of like, vehicle and then they get dragged along that way. No, no. Of course, obviously, they're on skis.
okay. See now, okay, I got it now because growing up north, we called it skeeching. And we didn't have a reindeer, but that's the exact same thing as getting behind your buddy's car in the winter on after it snows, and then they pull you like so you're holding onto the bumper, and then they pull
Oh.
you. So that's exactly what that is. So that's like reindeer skeeching, if you will. And but I mean, what else you got in Finland? I mean, there's really not a lot else to do. I was watching too um, the Paralympics,
Hmm.
and I turned on curling, and they had wheelchair curling,
Hmm.
and it was kind of neat. Except I I'm sitting there going, well, why don't you get someone who like pushes the guys in the wheelchair down the ice, and then they're trying to get the guy actually sitting in the wheelchair to the center of the circles. But no, they get like a long. It's like shuffleboard. It's like ice shuffleboard, but it's still pretty cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, maybe we'll see that Finnish reindeer racing. Have you ever? I saw something. In fact, it just popped up in a conversation the other day. In Italy, I was talking about traveling to Italy with someone, and they asked where I went, and I said I spent some time in Siena, and the day, well, just I spent one day in Siena, but the day we were there, and I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the day we were there was the day between the practice run and the actual running of the Il Palio. And Il Palio, what it is they got this big city square, right? And it's not as big as it looks, but it's a big city square, right? And it's kind of sunken down, and the Palio is a horse race, and it's really like the Hunger Games meets the Kentucky Derby.
Oh.
In the sense that in the sense that you've got this city in this area that's all divided into these districts. And then these districts, what they do is they have a horse and a racer and a jockey, and it's bareback. and they're wearing silks. Like, I mean, they look like court jester. No, they look like Hugh Hefner pajamas, basically, in all the colors of whatever their district is. And they're on bareback on the horses. So as you can imagine, bareback on a horse with satin pants is going to be problematic. And they've got a big, huge stick that's got to be about an inch in diameter. I mean, it's not just like a little whippy stick. I'm talking like a dowel. And they race around the city square 3 times, but they're whacking each other with this stick. I mean, they can go and they hit the other horse in the face and they do all this stuff, but it's been going on every year with the exception of COVID, of course, every year since like 1660. And they have that. And it's this big celebration, but the center of the town isn't an oval, it's a square. So they're having to make like almost 90-degree right-hand turns. And there'll be guys that go flying off into the wall and then they'll go off the horse and the horse can win. Your horse can win and you don't have to have a jockey on it. And then, you know, if your district wins, you got bragging rights. And then they go and they have these in each district. They line the streets that night with a dinner and there's like 800 people going down this long table. This
They only get bragging rights. There's no reward. You're going through all that.
I mean, I don't know what the reward is, but there might be something. There might be a monetary award. I know someone was saying that there's a lot of gambling on it, and it's really rigged. But if you look up the paleo, you'll just go, "What the hell? What are they doing?" And we were there between the day. So we were down in that square and we walked down in the square and it was it kind of rained. And so then if you've ever been on a horse track and it rains and it dries out, it's, you can see all the hoof marks and everything. And I was like, what the hell was going on here? And I did not know. And then I looked it up. It's the most bizarre thing ever.
I've never ridden a horse before, so I would not know.
No?
No, okay, I was never a horse girl. That was very much a big thing when I was growing up in elementary school, like My Little Pony, Horseland. Little girls my age were absolutely obsessed with horses, and I would try to integrate with them. Like, I watched My Little Pony. I liked it. I had a couple of the figurines, but like actual real life horses that weren't like pink and purple, no bueno. Like, I could not get behind them whatsoever. I think it's because they were so tall. Like, I've always been a very short person. And so I think that was just kind of very intimidating to me. And their hooves. I don't like the fact that like they can crush you and like if they step on you the wrong way. Also, if like they throw you off their back, like and you snap your neck, you're dead. I feel like there's just so many things that can go wrong with horses, and I'm just not meant for that lifestyle. Respect all the people who do it, but I know, like, I value my safety and my sanity, and I don't think horses are a part of that. They're not part of my destiny. They're not part of my journey. So
No. Okay. Fair enough. What else you got for news?
Okay, this one I thought maybe you would get a tickle out of. So, there's a viral phenomenon currently going on in Argentina that has young people identifying themselves as animals. Some are dressed as cats and foxes perched in the branches of trees.
It's a public
Uh,
school here in the United States.
I don't know if you know what furries are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They
Well, I mean,
are
no, I said that way too emphatically. Not like, yeah, I know what they are. You know,
They
yeah.
kind of okay. As long as anybody isn't hurting anybody else, I don't really like. You can do whatever you want with your free time. I'm not here to judge because I'm sure like, there's things that I do that other people would like be like, why would you spend your time doing that? There's so many other things worth doing. But furries are the one thing that I just don't really completely get and understand. Like my roommate, my best friend, we've known each other since age 9, literally an OG, been there
Mhm.
since day 1. Her brother, when we were growing up, was a furry. I don't think he's a
Oh,
furry
dear
anymore.
God.
But there was briefly a period where he was like really into that. And I just was like, okay, is
Well, okay,
everything
what was
okay?
his animal?
I
Did
think
they
it was like
commit
a
to what?
fox or wolf. Like it was very
Okay.
stereotypical. Like, oh my goodness, if you're gonna be a furry, be a bit more creative with it. Who wants to
Yeah,
be
I
a
mean,
whale?
don't you have to if in the furry culture, right? Do you have to commit to an animal right away? I mean, and
I
say,
don't know.
okay, I'm going wolf, but then like 2 years later, maybe you don't want to be a wolf. Do you have to stay a wolf?
I know with
Can you?
my ADHD, I would change my mind if I were a furry, I would change my mind constantly. Like, I'd
Mhm.
really like being a wolf, like, 1 week, but then the next I'm like, "Oh my goodness, what if I wanted to be, like, a bumblebee?" Can you be a bumblebee? I don't know. I don't know anything about them, and I don't know if I'd necessarily want to be more
You could be
informed.
like B Girl from that 1990s video, which you wouldn't know about.
I don't know
Tell
what
you
that
that.
is, but I do have a bee stinger stuck permanently in my shoulder,
I
and I
I know that.
right,
So
and I
okay,
don't
so the furry thing. Back to
yes.
the furry thing. So your roommate's brother was a furry. How did he grow out of it? And then continue with the story.
I think he is like a relatively well-adjusted young man now. I have not seen him in like a year or two. I hope he's doing well. I don't. I'm not going to name drop him because I don't know if he wants
No,
this like to
no,
be
no.
public information. Because if I were a furry in middle school, I would not want anybody like I would take that to my grave. Like I would not tell any of my loved ones, my family members, my friends. That would literally that's something like I would go to confession for. Okay, like nobody else needs to know about this. Um, but yeah, it was just like a phase he went through where he just really wanted to be like a fox. Like all of his social media profiles were like fox related. He would bring it up and like in every single conversation. And it's like I didn't even know how to interact with that. I was just like, okay, like I want to be supportive, but genuinely, this feel I'm like a complete utter idiot. I'm uneducated when it comes to any of the anything to deal with the furry community. And I might be purposefully a little ignorant because it kind of terrifies me a little bit.
Well,
Um,
that's fine. You'd feel don't feel bad if you don't understand it.
I
Don't.
feel
I
like I just
mean,
try to be an understanding person in general. Like that is like my one pet peeve. Like I think my biggest vice is that I want to know absolutely everything ever. Like I'm such a big know-it-all. Like I think I want to be on Jeopardy. I want to be that person that gets on Jeopardy and gets every single question right. Like I
mm,
want to be a fountain of useless knowledge. So I think this is like a really glaring oversight in terms of what I know, but it's like intentional because I'm like a little freaked out by it. And I don't think I don't know if there's gonna be any Jeopardy questions related to furries.
yeah.
I gotta be
Well,
honest.
no, I mean the furry thing. You've got plenty of time to investigate that, and you know what? I'm sorry that when you get to that stuff, and I'm with you. Do whatever you want, okay? Um, but don't get pissed at me if I think you're a freak, okay? Because I mean, hey, I'll let you do it, but if I make a comment, don't get offended like it's supposed to be normalized because it's not. I'm sorry, it's not normal.
I just
By
always think
definition, it's not.
I think the costumes, like, I would get so hot and sweaty in them because a lot the ones in
I think
this
that's
one
the
article
point.
yeah, like oh, is it the point?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I needed to know. I don't know if I needed to know that.
Oh yeah. No, no, no. It's not just dress up.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Hmm.
mm,
Okay. Well, Pipey, you learned something.
I did.
Um,
Oh, I didn't
and
need to
whatever
know
you
that
do, don't
though.
look up. Hey, no, I've been down this road. I have lived much longer than you. I've seen a lot of things, and I like you, and I think that's the reason we get along so well. I'm intrigued by the outer fringes of society. Okay, because I want to know what makes that person tick. Right, because if it's that odd, it's like okay, who dropped you on your head? How did this happen? Right. So I've looked at there are very few things that I won't entertain at least taking a look at.
Mhm.
Um, but don't okay. So the furry thing, you don't want to. You can look into that. They have a big national. I think the National Furry Convention is here in Milwaukee.
Is it? I know there's
Oh
a
yeah.
couple really big ones.
Uh
I
huh.
remember when my mom went to Comic-Con when I was younger, and she met somebody dressed up as she met a brony. She met somebody dressed up as a My Little
That was
Pony.
the next place I was going.
Yeah, and my mom had no no idea what a brony was. I've had to educate what my mother is on furries since then, and let's just say that shook her to her very core.
It should.
But yeah, my mom unknowingly met like a grown man dressed as Rainbow Dash, and she's like, "Oh, isn't this so cool?" And I was like
Yeah,
10 at the
that's
time. Like I was
that's
very much the intended demographic of My Little Pony. But like looking back on, it, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you
yeah.
like
Oh yeah, no, that's what maybe it's a brony convention that's here, but it's something it's pretty niche like that. It might be vertical on the horse thing. Yeah, but it's like crazy. But you mentioned like this is going viral with kids and costumes in South America. It's like and I know there are a couple of schools around here that did it. You had a group of people, I swear to God, that were identifying as cats.
Which like I especially as kids, I worked with kids for like 6 years. I was a camp counselor for countless summers. Like especially at that age, like I don't ever want to put them down because usually like they have like especially in middle school bullying at an all-time high, peer pressure is like a constant thought. I never want to be like discourage their interests. Like I was fully a warrior cats kid. I was really I those books are all about cats going off to war and like feuding with one another and getting into territory disputes. I ate that up. There was so much blood and wanton violence. It was like Game of Thrones for kids, but with
Mhm.
animals. It was totally my thing. So I understand being obsessed with animals. I was like I wanted to be an entomologist and zookeeper growing up. That was totally up my alley.
Totally
Um,
cool.
but there like it's and I don't want to put kids down ever, but it's just like, oh, I don't you're gonna look back at this probably in a couple of years and be like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, it's not. It's you don't have to put them down. But in these instances, there were high schools and middle schools around here, and yeah, wait for it, that had kids identifying cat as cats and putting litter boxes in the bathroom. Okay, that is a line. It's like, great. You want to pretend you're a cat? Yeah. Well, you're going to be a cat that uses the toilet. Okay, you're not going in a litter box. That's fucked up. Period.
It's like I'm trying to think of like
Period.
if
I don't care.
my
But they go, well, you have to let them express it. Over my ass, let them express themselves. So they're pretending to be a cat and go to the bathroom in a litter box, and it's like, no, I'm drawing the line there. If you want to call me names for not being accepting of that, hey, by all means, I'm here for it.
like I'm trying to think if like my theoretically my child was like, okay, I want to be a cat. I'm like, alrighty. Um so here's the thing. You can go off, and play, like go on the playground and run around, and LARP it out, whatever. I don't care. But the litter box, I'm like, why would you even want to use a litter box? I'm pretty sure my cat doesn't even like his litter box half the time, okay? It's a stinky, smelly box, where you go for one exact reason, and it's gross and disgusting.
Who
And
a who's cleaning it in the school?
true.
All
Yeah.
right. B, who's on the freaking school board that said it was okay?
Did they
Okay.
say it was okay?
Well, they put them in the schools. Yeah, they had to. Oh, yeah, yeah. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. It's like, are you kidding me? No, no, we're not going to do that. No, no. As a matter of fact, you've got someone in the school and that says they want to be a cat and say that you're being discriminatory, that that you're not putting a litter box in to accommodate them. And then you put the litter box in, you made the wrong decision for that kid. It's not like, oh, no, yeah, we'll accommodate you, put the litter box in. It's like, no, pull them out of class, have them go talk to somebody, for God's sakes. I can understand loving the animal. I can understand dressing up like that. Hell, Catwoman did it, right? Um, and I can understand all of that, but there's a line that it crosses, and then it's in my school, and if I were to walk into a school and I'd walk into a bathroom, go, what's that box of sand doing there? And then someone goes in, and then no, I'm done. I'm out. I'm
I
out. I'm out.
I think we
Fair
got bigger
enough.
fish to fry when it comes to
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff in the education system. Like, can we like Wisconsin like does not have any arts programs whatsoever. Maybe we should focus on that rather than litter boxes.
Well, yeah. I mean, they do, but
I
not to
think we're
the
like the
extent.
49th state for arts programs in the country. Like they do exist. Like I definitely took clarinet in middle school. And everybody in my household was well aware of this whenever I tried to practice, and it sounded like the most ear piercing, like horrendous sound that
Mhm.
no human being should ever have like ever hear. But yeah, I feel like there's just so many other things as someone who has worked in the education system that we should be worrying about
Yeah.
than litter boxes.
Yeah. I'm gonna just throw one out there, and we don't have to kick it around. I'm just gonna say reading proficiency. But anyway, with the art stuff, yeah, I mean, arts get cut everywhere because they
Mhm.
need to come up with the money for a new baseball field or a new gym, and that's exactly it.
Yeah,
What
and
people
that
don't
always
realize is if you got people coming in, like we have a lot of corporate headquarters here in Milwaukee.
mhm.
Well, you get someone who gets transferred in, to the home office or whatever, and they start looking at school districts, they're probably going to look and see if they have an orchestra or do they have a fine arts
Mhm.
program. Not everyone is coming in to play basketball or football as
And I've
much
seen
as the
this
community loves it. Hey,
as like an
I fully admit, I was a choir guy, I was a swing choir guy, I was a drama guy, I did musicals.
oh,
And
what musicals did you do?
let's see, I did Pippin, My Fair Lady, Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. And what was the other one that I did? The Forum, Pippin, Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, Once Upon a Mattress.
Oh, I grew up going to the theater. My family had season tickets, so we were always like I've seen Hamilton, I've seen Phantom of the Opera, a whole bunch of others. My dad is really into musicals. Like whenever there's a new musical movie out, we go like we watch it together. See, I grew up in I did every single sport on the face of the planet that's available to kids. Like I did soccer, I did track, I did swim, I did taekwondo, I did karate, I did volleyball, I did softball. Literally everything under the sun. And I still think the thing but also at the same time I did like theater productions. I did band. I joined like the art therapy club where it was literally like what we did in class the other day, where it's like an hour where we just draw whatever we want and just get like all of those feelings out. And it was really calming and soothing. And like both are important. And I feel like once you favor one over the other, some kids are gonna get lost in the shuffle and are not gonna have like that space and like enrichment that they need to
Mhm.
thrive.
No, I mean, we had, they had to, they really shut down a lot of the arts programs and where we lived, and because they had to build a new gym. And it's like, but a second gym for the basketball team, which is ridiculous. It's like, so don't get me started on that as well. And I'm not saying that you have to, it's not every city needs to be fame, right?
Mhm.
But there's a lot of research that will tell you that if you know how to play an instrument, you're going to be more proficient in reading, more proficient in math, all of those things. So, it's a good thing to have that. Um, how about this though? I wanted to get to this because
Okay.
um, so Britney Spears arrested for DWI, a DUI in Las Vegas, right? And you got to go back. I saw this, and I'm going. I felt bad for her, right? And because you were watching over the last couple of years, well, not the last couple, you've been watching probably for 20 years or, her whole life just absolutely being played out and crashing to the ground in a tragic story. But this is what kind of pissed me off with this is that, they had the whole Free Britney movement,
Mhm.
which a couple of years ago, because she was in under a, oh, what do they call that?
Conservatorship.
Yeah, conservatorship with her dad. So then you get, a couple of guys that get on Instagram and start parading around with this Free Britney thing. And then there's a ton of other people because it's, um, it's provocative, it's fun, whatever the case is, it's some cause, the cause du jour to latch onto, that go absolutely crazy saying she has the right to do whatever she wants. It's her money, blah, 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 blah. So you get into the situation, and I don't know the situation or the relationship with her and her dad. I'm only looking at this from the outside. So you get into that, and then finally they win. Right? They bullied everybody on social media. They bullied every last one of them to get Britney out from under this and give her control of everything. And then she went right downhill. All you had to do was follow her Instagram. She's dancing on Instagram with her clothes off half the time. You can tell she's just whacked out of her gourd. And this was absolutely bound to happen. And I don't necessarily blame her. I blame those people for this. She obviously needs help. She obviously needed someone looking out after her. Right. And, but what do? They get out there. They're these social justice warriors that come out and they go, well, we freed Britney. They feel good about themselves. Well, now she's in a total tailspin and they're nowhere to be found. And it fries my ass. And I'm not a huge Britney Spears fan. It's not like this is just a human dignity thing.
I have followed the Free Britney movement because throughout my entire life, like Britney Spears has obviously always been a public figure. And from when I was born in 2004, so during the early 2000s, she obviously kind of had like her first where she shaved her head and everything. And I just feel very sympathetic to her because I can't imagine being a child star and famous your entire life and obviously struggling with mental health problems. And, instead of people trying to get you help, they just, exploit you and film you and take pictures of you at your very lowest. I've had some really bad days where it's oh my gosh, I'm so glad, that I'm not incredibly pop star or anything like that, where I can kind of freak out and nobody else is going to pay attention to that. I'm very thankful for my privacy. And she just does not get to have that. And I remember when the Free Britney movie was first happening. And I did a bunch of research on it because that's whenever there's something a huge trend going on. I'm like, okay, I want to know what's motivating. I want to know what's going on with this. I want the full story. And for what I, in just the briefest of terms, what I got away from is that her family put her in a conservatorship.
And she was whacked out. She had a drug issue. She was, absolutely
did she have a drug issue?
Oh God, yeah, she was completely off the rails.
I feel like it's just I feel like instead of putting her in a conservatorship, they should have gotten her actual mental health because I think this is a lot of I have family members with mental health issues and I who have similar freak out moments. This is something I am well accustomed to, and a conservatorship doesn't really help them in terms of getting actual medical help. It just is more of a financial thing. So basically it's her family are in charge of her financials and also body decisions. And I just think as someone, she is a full-grown woman. I think she should have agency over her body. And her family members should be more concerned with getting her, making sure that she's going to therapy and getting on the right medication and making sure that she is getting the help and support that she actually needs than worrying about who owns her masters. And I just thought that was so you were her father. I thought that was so completely ridiculous. My dad would never do that to me. If I were out there shaving my head, my dad would be like, okay, you're coming home, we're going to take good care of you, we're going to make sure that you can get the best care that you can possibly receive.
Apply that to the people in the litter box in the high school. Same thing.
So, and it's just and now that she's been free of it, I feel like we need a balance. Obviously, I don't think she should have her body autonomy controlled by a board of people who don't have her best interests in mind and are just more focused on whether her next record is going to be topping the charts or whatever. But I also think she should not be on social media where so many people are privy to her clearly not in the best state of mind. I think there needs to be an in between where like she's not like she is still in charge of her own body, but also has like people who legitimately care about her and are not allowing her to post like she legitimately seems to be very much going through it, and I do not need to see that. That feels very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Feels very Big Brother.
Put the phone down, Britt. That's what, here, give me the phone. Give me the phone. Because anytime she posted something on Instagram, the average human could look at her and go, ooh, she's rough. So she needs help.
I
Right?
don't even wanna, like I don't wanna judge her for, like, her body or anything, cause I hate taking photos of myself, I've there are very much images of myself out there on the internet. They're not taken from the most flattering angle. That's not even, like, my most concern, I'm just, like, genuinely, like, "Girl, I think we need to go on some sort of retreat," you know? Um, make sure like, do some meditation, maybe get on some mood stabilizers, let's workshop this instead of like focusing on Instagram.
Well, yeah. I mean, absolutely. It's like what she was doing was, I mean, I'm sorry, it was just certifiably crazy. It's not a bad angle. I mean, you could see people, oh, that doesn't, lighting was bad. Now she was just totally whacked out of her brains. And I mean, you can tell that. And I am with you 1,000%, is that nobody was, I don't, but see, you can't say that nobody was helping her. Maybe they were trying to help her, but that was more important than getting her money back. And why I get pissed at the people that were like the Free Britney movement is because you don't, all you see is someone that you like because you thought she was hot dancing with a snake on the VMAs. And she had a great career growing up, but you don't see her day in and day out. You don't know what she's going through. So to go out and sit there and say she needs to be freed, you don't know. And now I'm starting to think that, yeah, maybe she should have had a little bit more supervision.
I just feel like Britney Spears is just a very very sad figure to me because it seems like to me throughout her entire career, like I think child stars should not be a thing. I think it's kind of deeply evil to have a child be famous. Like the amount of things that happen to those poor kids and what they go through and the adults that they are exposed to. Like, oh my gosh, I don't think any good parent allows their kid to be famous. Like,
Lou
just
Pearlman.
what?
Look up Lou Pearlman, what he did. Look up that documentary. Or the guy from, what was it, Nickelodeon.
Yeah, like exactly. Like if you actually legitimately care about your kids, make them do theater at school, or like make them do tap dancing or ballet. Channel their artistic interest somewhere else, okay? Like I don't think kids should be famous. And so I think Britney Spears' story just makes me very deeply sad. It's like we have this woman who's probably never cared for and looked after in the way that she should have and was probably exposed to a whole bunch of traumatic and destabilizing things, and now that she's acting up because of it, people are, like, surprised by it. I'm like, "No, I think it's just, like, a storm that has just been waiting to happen this entire time." So I think, honestly, I hope Brittany gets, honestly, the authentic help that she needs, and we don't really hear from her again. I think that'd be best for her.
Well, I will say this, that it may not be the situation. It's there's the people that were around you when the situation happened, because out of that same Mickey Mouse Club group came Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera, and they're both doing okay.
Well, Justin Timberlake is an alcoholic, so I don't know if
Okay,
any
yeah, okay. Alcoholics, big deal. That's like 90% of Wisconsin.
does
Okay,
anybody
that's
remember when he got pulled over
well, that's
and the
one
cop was like,
DWI, but nonetheless, I mean, I'm sure he runs it pretty hard, without a
Christina
doubt.
Aguilera
But
turned out pretty alright, but I always think of, like, the Nickelodeon kids, like Amanda Bynes and Jeanette McCurdy, who
yeah,
were, like, abused, and I'm like, some of them turn out okay, and some of them don't, and I think no matter what, like, these people need the respect and definitely medical assistance that they that
hmm.
demands after being through like, nobody should go through that, you know?
Well, okay, so I saw this, and I want to bounce this off you because I'm just fascinated by.
Mhm.
I love how you guys. One of the things that I absolutely love about college and teaching, um, and and I've said this to you guys and all my students in class. The energy that I get from you, from students and people your age, is so infectious. And I know it sounds trite, and I know that it sounds very cliche, but it does make me feel younger. Right. But then again, I realize that I am old. So I'm not living in some world of delusion. And that's not
Mhm.
to say that I didn't, because during my dark period a while back, I mean, but that's for a different time. But I came across this article, and when you get people like, when at my age, right, we take things as very second nature, and things get pounded into us that we believe, um, that it was just became a fabric of our being, and then things will change, but we still continue to believe it. Okay. And especially, I came across this article, and this is the definition between my generation years. Now, I don't even know where I am. I mean, I don't think I'm a boomer. I'm kind of in the middle of, I don't even know which way they go either. Is it boomers, millennials, then Gen X, or whatever?
It goes
Well,
baby boomers, Gen X, that's what my parents are,
or
then
Gen X?
millennials, and then Gen Z, which is what
Okay.
I am.
Yeah. And now they have a Gen A coming out.
Yeah, well, actually, Generation Alpha is over. It ended last year or the year before at that. I think we're on Generation Beta is being born now.
Oh,
But it was
okay.
such a lame ass name, like Generation Beta.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was Generation Beta because that was before VHS came out, and I still think it's a superior product. But nonetheless, so it was, and you'll have to bounce these off your parents, because I saw this list. I said, I got to run this by Piper and see what she thinks, because I bet you a lot of these didn't even hit your radar.
Okay, I'm
And
ready.
and people that are our age and older, your parents' age, will remember this going, oh my God, that's right. We were worried about these things. So here they are. Start off with number one, quicksand.
Oh, quicksand, I thought that and the Bermuda Triangle were going to be the most pressing things in elementary school. I was like, why isn't the
Really?
president? Yes, I was like, why isn't the president on this? What is his plan to deal with the Bermuda Triangle and quicksand? Like, oh my goodness, surely thousands of people die from this every single year. And then I grew up and I was like, oh, so here's the thing, quicksand is really not that big of a deal. And even if you fall into it, if you know what to do, you're gonna be okay.
Well, I just read an article about a guy who was caught in it for I don't know how many hours, but quicksand was horrifying. It was like, oh my God, that's the last thing I want to do is die in quicksand. And it's funny because the second one on the list was the Bermuda Triangle,
Oh,
which, no, it was the second one on the list that we were worried about, the Bermuda Triangle. It wasn't, you turn around and a plane would go down. Well, planes go down all the time, but they happen to go down in this like 7,000 square mile area. And it's like, oh, dear God, it's some sort of alien force.
and the
And then
thing
you
is,
don't hear anyone talking about the Bermuda Triangle anymore.
no, planes don't fall, like ships don't sink, planes don't crash statistically any more in the Bermuda Triangle area than any other place in the world. I don't know why it's become this like phenomenon. I mean, I kind of like it. I think it's kind of fun. I love mysteries and unsolved legends and lore like that. Like I eat that up. But I hate to burst everybody's bubble. I don't think there's anything supernatural or alien
Yeah.
going on with the
Okay.
Bermuda
So this concerned us.
Triangle.
Okay. We were concerned. Oh my God, the Bermuda Triangle. This is horrible. If anything happened with the Bermuda Triangle, my God. Um, Number three on the list that was bothersome to us, that, is, you got to remember to stop, drop, and roll.
Oh my goodness, wait, they taught us this in elementary school because my biggest fear growing up was fire. I was traumatized by the Christmas special of Franklin the Turtle because they visit his grandmother and she lived in this big old mansion in the swamp and it was in flames during the holidays and very traumatically they had to row away on boats and all the turtles were crying like all their presents burned up and I was like 6 years old watching this and I was so scared shitless. I had to carry around my teddy bear wherever I went. I was like, what happens if we leave and the house burns down while they're gone and I won't have my beloved stuffed animal? So I like, you know what? I very much took stop, drop, and roll seriously. Okay, you
Okay.
guys.
So you remembered if you were ever if you ever caught on fire, you would remember to stop,
Yes.
drop, and roll.
I would, most definitely. I saved my family from a hotel that was on fire once. The
Mhm.
fire alarms went off and like I think like 5 o'clock in the morning. And while my mom thought it was the alarm clock going off, so she kept on hitting this thing. And while this is all happening, I have my suitcase packed. Okay, I'm feeling the doorknob to make sure it's warm enough. I'm like, guys, we can go. And my parents
Did
are
you have an
still in
escape
bed.
route?
Mhm.
Did you have an escape route in your house?
I always lived on the second floor, and every single year for Christmas, I asked for a ladder for my window in case there was a fire. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how terrified, scared I was of our house being on fire until like the age of 15. Like now I live in an apartment building. And I think I've had to get over it a little bit because like I literally have to trust all of my neighbors to make sure they are not like they know how to use a stove and are not going to like the whole building is not going to go in flames. I have to have more faith in humanity. But growing up, I thought this was like legitimately nightmare scenario.
Okay.
So
How about this one? Did you ever get yelled at for this? I remember this happening to me. Um, don't sit too close to the TV. You're going to ruin your eyesight.
I definitely got hurt told that a bunch. I definitely because
You
we had a
did.
big boxy TV in our basement growing up. Um and I would play Xbox 360 on there, the our Wii, we'd watch movies on there. I definitely got told that. What I'm hearing so far is that maybe these generational differences are not as big as we might think.
Okay. But you reveal some of them that are because you said playing Xbox 360 growing up,
Mhm.
which was like the fifth Xbox that I could have gotten possibly. So yeah, there are some generational things that play.
Mhm.
There are
But same concept, my mom had an Atari console, growing up.
Atari.
Uh,
Yep.
mhm.
Um, Atari was great. I had Nintendo. I had the Nintendo 64 with Super Mario, with Super Mario Brothers, the very first one. And then I went to PlayStation, and then the Wii was the dumbest video game console ever because when my son was growing up, we decided, okay, what is it going to be, a Wii or is it going to be the Xbox? Got him the Wii. Um, Sold it to someone within a month and went and bought an Xbox. The Wii was the dumbest thing in the world.
I
And the
only
way
used
that
it to play
parents
Legend of
would play
Zelda.
parents would play with the Wii, though totally different than the kids. So like, kids figured it out. So let's say you had Wii bowling or Wii tennis, right? A grown up is out in the middle of they're doing this and everything, and they're actually playing tennis and getting a workout and all of that. And then you play against a kid, and the kid's just sitting in the beanbag chair, flicking his wrist like this, and just kicking your ass. Okay, and that's all it is. It's just a motion thing. Flick the wrist, and it's like, okay, this is just the dumbest thing ever. How about this one? Unsafe Halloween candy. Did you have this fear that someone was going to give you poisoned Halloween candy when you were growing up?
Not really, because my mom, we always live by the philosophy of like, don't eat any home baked goods because you don't know what's in it. Even just for like allergies, I was never allergic to anything growing up, but just like basic safety concerns. You don't know what people are putting in there. But candy's like comes prepackaged, okay? If it's like don't eat if it's open, but otherwise you're good to go.
Okay, because it was razor blades and apples were the big ones.
Mhm.
When I watch out, razor blades. They put razor blades and apples to get the kids. That's what they're doing.
I think I
Or
would survive
needles
that.
in putting a needle into a candy bar, like through the wrapper. And even to this day, you'll see when um, Halloween comes around, you can go to your local police station and run your Halloween candies through. You can run it through the X-ray machine for you. They'll have it checked. How about this? Do you ever get yelled at? Did they ever say, "Don't swallow gum, or you're gonna die. You're gonna get sick and die"?
It's not really a big gum household because we all have ADHD and we would probably just leave it, like take it out our mouths and leave it in an unfortunate place. We really never gum people. So it really wasn't like that's not something I really hurt. I got yelled at for other reasons, but not really because if you swallow gum, you're gonna die. Because you're not gonna die if you swallow gum. So
Well, that was it. Don't swallow gum, you're gonna die. And it was like, no, you can swallow a piece of gum. If you're like swallowing 12 pieces of gum a day, you're gonna probably run into some gastrointestinal issues. But just swallowing one piece of gum is not anything to be afraid of. How about this one? Don't turn on the dome light in the car while we're driving.
okay, yes, because I would always like me and my brother would sit like me and my younger brother would sit in the back of the car. My parents would be in the front, and we would come home from like a family gathering or over at like a friend's house or something. And me and my brother would like read in the back of the car, or we would be like looking at comic books, that sort of thing. And we would try to turn on the light. And my dad would be like, "Don't do that. If
Yes.
you value your life, don't do that right now." So we would end up just falling asleep instead.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Dad would yell at you because what do you want to call? You want to cause a car accident? Turn on that dome light. We're all going to die in a crash. And then the next minute, he'd be letting you steer on his lap, or stand in the front seat if you didn't have bucket seats without a seatbelt on. But I'll be damned. Don't turn on the dome light. You're going to kill all of us.
Mm-hmm. My dad had a
How about
big
this one?
Ford pickup truck growing up, and he drove like we would drive around that thing like we owned the street. So
Yes. But don't turn the dome light on. You could drive at the age of 5 on his lap, but if you flip that dome light, I'm pulling this thing over.
mhm.
This is another one. Piranhas, being afraid of piranhas and barracudas.
You know what? I actually have always really vibed with barracudas. There was a kid in my kindergarten class who drew one every single day, and you know what? I like realistically, I'm never gonna encounter a piranha. That's not really,
I,
and I think I could fend one off. I'm sorry, guys. I think I can survive a piranha. They're not
yes,
that big. I've been to the zoo. I've been to the zoo. The piranhas are not that big. I could just eat one of those dudes. I would fry them up. I don't care.
it's not one piranha that gets you. First of all, I'm not living in South America near the Amazon. Yeah, you're going to have issues with piranhas if you're trying to walk across the Amazon, and that's why the native people take a cow and they send it 100 yards down the river. They slice it open so it starts bleeding, send it 100 yards down the river so the piranhas get it so they can cross with the rest of the herd. But the chances of me encountering a piranha are 0 to none unless it's in a guy's tank, in his dorm room, which a few guys I knew had. And the barracuda, I'm not swimming in barracuda infested waters. And when's the last time you ever heard of a barracuda attack? Never. So
I always think like the word like piranha infested waters, shark infested waters, like infested waters. That's their home. Like where else are they
we're
supposed to go?
infesting it.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if we're going in, we're the ones who are infesting the water. It's not our water that they kind of came into. That's their water. When you get right down to it, we're the ones who are guests. And I went snorkeling once in Hawaii. And when I got in, I looked down. It was in this big inlet. And way below me were these manta rays. Okay. First thing I looked at was down there. Now, I don't know. I don't think they were the stingrays like killed the crocodile hunter. They're just your regular old manta rays. But if you've never seen one and then you're in the water and it's like not in a pool somewhere or in a display somewhere, you realize really quickly that you are no longer on the top of the food chain. You are in their world. Okay. And they own that. How about this one? Did you ever hear that you can't shower during a thunderstorm?
I have, but I think it's one of those things where I have taken a shower enough at this point during a thunderstorm and nothing bad has ever happened to me. I'm just gonna continue, keep on doing my own thing. I don't know if is there any real life science or is it just
No.
all superstition?
No, it's all superstition. That's what just your parents do not. You are not taking. You are not taking a shower in a thunderstorm. You could die. You could be electrocuted or something. Well, yeah, I suppose. But you know what? If you were in the shower or not and got hit by lightning, you're going to be electrocuted. So might as well if you're that stanky, take the shower. I'll roll the dice on that. How about this? Swallowing fruit seeds. Don't swallow because that'll grow. Those will grow in your stomach.
I vividly remember a children's book. I think it's written by a Wisconsin author too, about these mice and like this little girl. She eats like a watermelon and she gets some of the seeds, like she accidentally eats some of the
Mm-hmm.
seeds, and she's so like concerned like absolutely heartbroken, down in the dumps, thinking that she's going to give birth, like basically give birth. It's kind of like a horrific thing for children to read. But she's so
She's
concerned
gonna
that
give
she is
birth to
going
a
to have,
watermelon.
right, like that she's gonna have like a watermelon baby, and then it's gonna burst open in her stomach, and she's going to explode. And I always thought that's such a like unpleasant thing. Even now, just thinking back on it. But yeah, I never believed it though, because I'm like, guys, the stomach acid. That's not how human bodies work, though. There's nothing. They would not survive down there. Our bodies could not have those type of ecosystems. What are you going on about? What are you talking about?
Now, those
So,
stories are always ones that you find in the Pakistani news times of some guy that had a bean seed up his nose and then it like sprouted in his whole like nasal cavity. He couldn't breathe. And then they go in and they find out he's got a garden up there. That just doesn't happen in America. Well, maybe some parts.
I was about to
And
say,
then
where
the
my
last,
grandmother lives down in Arkansas, they're just
yeah,
doing everything.
we've had this discussion, it's a single vowel states that you have to look out for. Arkansas, Alabama,
Yep.
Tennessee. Those are the ones. Those are the ones that cause you trouble. And then the last thing that they said you're not supposed to do is crack your knuckles. It's going to cause arthritis. Yeah, I mean, I do it. It doesn't.
Complete and utter myth. You can't get arthritis from that.
No, you can't. It's when you crack your knuckles, it's just like there's a gas chamber that
Yeah,
all you're
it's
doing
just
is
like
popping that.
the fluid between your joints. That's what's
Yeah.
making that sound. I've been to the
Mhm.
chiropractor enough to know that's not how I'm going to be taken down. Okay. Um, and also there was this one study where a guy cracked only one hand, to see if he was going to get arthritis. Like he left one hand completely untouched, and he
For
cracked
his
the
like
other.
his whole life.
Yes. And he never got arthritis in either hands. There was no noticeable difference between the two. There was like everything, they were the exact same. So no, you're not gonna get arthritis if you crack your hand.
No. Okay, so I'll put you on the spot here. Are there things that deeply concern you that you think I might not even that I'm like, whatever.
Maybe this sound like I'm trying to think of more lighthearted things because there's obviously like serious things where I'm like, okay,
Like
so
what?
like the environment. I often think like, ooh, are my grandchildren gonna be able to see a blue sky? Are
Yeah.
they gonna know what a polar bear is? Probably
Yes.
not at this point.
Yeah, they
Um,
will. Yeah, they will.
hopefully, I like my like I hope so. I really do deep down. Um, I'm trying to think what else because my parents are gonna be long gone by that point, and they won't have to worry about that. Um, generational difference, maybe more like related. You're probably more on social media than I am though. Like
Not
I don't
really.
have I don't have Instagram. I have a TikTok, but I never post on there. I have like a burner Twitter account. That's about it. Um, yeah, I feel like maybe that's something that's more like my generation is much more concerned with, keeping up appearances and appearing like looking cool.
Oh,
That's not
clout?
really a
No. Oh, no doubt you are.
but I
You're
don't
not
here's
you, your generation. Absolutely. It's
mhm.
ridiculous. I
It's
mean,
it's too much energy, too much time. I'd much rather get up to other things.
I mean, I remember when we were in Italy, everywhere I looked, it was an influencer. It was like people that you were using, some of the greatest pieces of artwork in the history of man as a backdrop for them. It's like, how much more narcissistic can you be? And then when you see when I just remember seeing in St. Peter's Basilica, and a girl with the right foot standing, how they turn the hip out and they got the right foot behind the left leg, standing, the typical pose, the influencer pose, in front of the tomb of St. Peter, the first pope of the Catholic Church. And you're like, what the fuck? Okay, do you have any sense of decorum or what's going on, or reverence? No, it's all about them. And hey, not my problem. I say this all the time, Piper. I go, I'm glad I'm closer to death than I am to birth. You guys are going to have it tough, but yes, I can guarantee you you will see a blue sky and you will see polar bears.
Okay,
But
thank you. I need that positive. We need to
no,
manifest this.
this is okay. This is science right here. If you took every single car off the road in the world, all right, you would only reduce the carbon footprint from what we have now by 15%. Okay, that's every car off the planet gone, right? So it's not that I'm not saying that you don't want to be concerned. What I'm saying is it isn't as grave as the groups want to make you think that it is.
Hope not. I don't drive.
No,
Okay, I'm doing my
you're
part, you guys.
no, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. If you don't want to drive, don't drive. I mean, that's
I'm just more of
great.
a
If it makes you feel good, if
I
it makes
crashed a
you feel
car and
better,
destroyed city property, so they don't want me on the streets.
yeah, but if I'm telling you, if it makes you feel better that you're doing a good job, absolutely. But I'm saying that you can't be. You get people that are absolutely crazy and they're totally debilitated by it. Now, oh my God, I can't go outside and do it. It's like, no, you can. You kind of can. It's gonna be okay. Gonna be fine. So, well, that's cool. I'm glad those 11 things. I'm glad that you are aware of them, because some people are woefully unaware of them.
Well, I've heard basically every single one, so don't worry about me.
I'm not. You're the last person on this planet that I would worry about. There's some other people. I'm not so sure about. So, then we're just about at the end here, Piper, and this comes to your special part of the show, and that is
It's time for Piper's Fun Fact of the Day. There are facts that you might not know, but they're really, really fun. And if you tell them to your friends, you look really, really smart. It's Piper's Fun Fact of the Day.
there you go, Piper. What's your fun fact of the day that we could leave our smart and good looking viewers with?
Okay, is everybody ready? Buckle
Everybody's
up.
ready.
Okay, so I've been recently in a shark mood. We talked a little bit about like piranhas, barracudas, so I think this is a little bit on theme. But I don't know if anybody else has heard about these, but there's this type of shark called Greenland sharks. And they're potentially some of the longest living creatures on the face of the planet. I hope everybody goes and looks up a picture of them because they're pretty gnarly looking. But they're the world's longest living invertebrate, reaching a life expectancy of guess how long you think they live for?
I'm gonna say like 300 years.
It's actually up to 400 and possibly
Okay.
even more.
Okay,
They have a slow metabolism and a slow growth rate that may be the key to its longevity. They mate very late. They're considered they only reach sexual maturity at 150 years old.
my God,
Like, oh my,
that's a
I'm
long
gonna
time
be
to
dead
wait.
and gone. Like,
That's a
oh my
long
goodness,
time to wait.
that is.
So,
But yeah, they
okay,
live
so
at the very bottom of the sea in like polar climates, like in polar oceans.
so okay, so do the math quickly. So a Greenland shark that was born in 1876 is finally getting some.
Yes. And I think that's kind of like that's so. I feel like especially with my age, everybody's trying to speed run everything in their life. They're like, we have to reach this milestone. We have to get this done at a certain age. Like, I have to graduate at this time. I'm like, oh my gosh, the Greenland sharks are literally have all the time in the world.
Well, yeah. Well, what else are they doing? They don't have to. They just have to be a shark.
It's
I mean, it's
true.
not like they have to be anywhere except where they are. Think
I mean,
about that.
150 years without like getting any business, without getting any action.
Well, hey, you know what? And they're not even married. So, but the here's another. I'll leave you one, and then we've got to check out here. But this is the truth. Is that I want to say it could be jellyfish. I know jellyfish may be a part of this, but I know that lobsters are. Lobsters. It's impossible for a lobster to die of natural causes.
I think I have heard of this. Yes, like theoretically they can live forever.
Forever.
Which is absolutely insane and bonkers. And like I can't even wrap my head around because like that's something that's like my biggest fear is like dying and like losing my memory. Which I'm like, I'm not very special for that. I think everybody's a little bit afraid of death. And if they're not, they're bigger than braver and bolder than me. But like imagine being like like you could just walk or I guess swim the face of the planet for eons unless somebody catches you and decides that you look really delicious and delectable.
And with drawn butter. That's it.
What kind of rain in my parade?
There we go. That is the fun fact of the day. Piper, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. And we'll have you back. I mean, whenever you want to come back, because I'm not doing anything. I'm unemployed, for God's sakes. So whenever you want to do this, just let me know. Say, hey, can I come on the show? Yeah, you can come on the show. So thank you very, very much. And I'll see you Thursday for sure.
Yeah, I'll see you Thursday.
That's right. Big fun. Big fun. Thanks a lot, Piper.
Bye.
Bye. There we go. And that is another episode of KB's Unemployed Show. Has come to an end. Thanks for joining us. Talked a little bit about Britney Spears. I love talking to Piper all the time. Man, she's just got such a great infectious energy. She's got a great view of the world. Smart, probably smarter than I am on a lot of things. But it's someone like that that gives me hope in the next generation. But anyway, I will be back tomorrow for day 93 of unemployment. And until that time, all I can tell you is make good choices. And that's it for this episode of KB's Unemployed Show. If you want to follow me on my unemployed journey, just subscribe to my channel below or dive into one of the playlists for all my unemployed action.
That was KB's Unemployed Show. He's still unemployed, still doesn't know what to do after the show.